All right, we're on to the good stuff. A team-by-team breakdown, Season 38, Ride or Dies, all 17 known teams going in order, not alphabetical, not by, resume or veteran status in the game. No. That's too easy. We ain't doing that anymore. Instead, these are in order by how I would power rank all 17 teams going in. Reverse order. We're starting at the bottom. We're going all the way to the top. I will recap briefly at the end, but these are my power rankings. All 17 teams. I'm not giving you a top 5, not giving you a top 10, not even top 15. I'm giving you all 17 in exactly the order. Not exactly the order that I think they're going to finish. That would be unbelievably incredible. If that happens, I don't know. I'm going to go play the lotto or something. But in order of how I would power rank their chances of winning this season, in order, here we go. We're starting off with a rookie pairs. Analyse and Tommy. They're both from Big Brother 21. And honestly, that's all I got because I don't see it with this couple at all. Except I do like Tommy has a reality TV podcast, so shout out to him for that. Now, because of learning that, I do actually hope that they go super far this season so he can give us some good insight on Real Talk, TAWK, Real Talk. Shout out Tommy's podcast. Shout out to Tommy and Analyse, but I don't think there's going to be much. I'm putting them dead last. Can they win this show? No. They cannot win this show. We'll be asking that of every single one of these teams. That wasn't just me taking an extra dig at the team I barely talked about, but we'll ask that question. Can they win? At the end of every one, can Analyse and Tommy win? No, I don't expect to talk about them much this season. I think they'll be gone early. Moving on to number 16. That's Ravyn and Johnny, another rookie pair. I bet you could predict where one of my predictions later on is going to go. Ravyn and Johnny come in at 16. Let's talk Johnny. He's an athlete. He's from Love Island too. He's friends with Jeremiah from last season and Corey from The Challenge. I learned both of those from his Instagram. So that means he's definitely going to be friends with Nelson. If he's not already, he will be by then, which maybe brings him into like a little Nelson Jay thing. Nelson and Jay are good friends. We'll talk about that later. So maybe he can get roped into with the three of them. And, maybe they rope in a Chauncey and a Darrell, which is going to be something I say a lot throughout the rest of these team-by-teams breakdowns. That's just the theory I've got going. That could be good for him, but he is a little on the short side. He's very built. He's a very athletic fella, but he's a little on the short side. That's not shade. That's just facts. We got to talk about it when we break these competitors down. His partner, Ravyn, hasn't been on reality TV before. One of 3 or 4 people from this season who has not been on reality TV again. So we'll see how she handles the cameras, the lights, the living situation, all of that. She has done a decent amount of film and TV work. That seems to be her main aspiration. So I could see her maybe befriending a Jordan, an Amber, a Veronica, a Nany, who, by the way, are all in a new MTV movie called Smile that looks super creepy. I don't like horror movies. I'm going to have to watch this one to support all my people, but I'm just, kind of stalling here now talking about that movie because I don't really have much else to say. This team will be in the first elimination no matter what. Can they win the challenge? No. To number 15, our first veteran makes the list. That would be Nam and his partner, Emmy. Nam is back for a third time. He is a truly unlucky challenge career. He's been on 2 seasons. First one, Double Agents. He was with Lolo. It was tumultuous. She ends up leaving. He gets a hurt back. He DQs medically. Then he has a COVID removal from Spies, Lies, and Allies. Just horrible luck his first 2 seasons. I love Nam so much. He is one of the best athletes there. Period. End of story. For the 3rd season in a row, I have to point out that Nam comes from Ultimate Beastmaster, which is another country or Netflix's version, but also another country's version of American Ninja Warrior, except one where they only do like stage 3 of American Ninja Warrior, which is the part where it's pure upper body strength the entire time. Nam is a crazy athlete, all right? And he's crazy smart. He's crazy driven. He's crazy hardworking. I love him so much. He's one of my absolute favorites to ever enter this world. But I don't see much for him this season yet again because Emmy not bringing much to the table. She's in model shape for sure. She's a model, and it's, I'm willing to be wrong, but I think she's in model shape, not in shape. There's a big difference that's going to come up with a lot of people on this list, as well as it comes up all the time in this world and other reality competition shows are like, models are fit. Are they that kind of fit, or are they just like, I need to be good looking fit? I'm willing to be wrong, but I think it's just the I need to be good looking fit here for Emmy. She's done a bunch of reality TV in Europe, but no physical stuff from anything that I'm seeing. And somehow to people who are, for people who are very online, like very online people, Emmy and Nam, they have 0 pictures together ever, anywhere. So it seems like they really maybe just felt like they owed Nam one more season and found him a partner to maybe, fake something with, which I'm not mad at, but it feels just like a 3-for-3 bad situation for my guy Nam. I love Nam so much. Can they win this season? No, they cannot. Moving on to number 14. The first champion to show up on this list, lower than you'd think a champion who won the hardest final in the history of the show to fall. But this is where I think Turbo and Tamara come in. Turbo is back for a 3rd season after winning War of the Worlds and getting DQ'd from his 2nd season, War of the Worlds 2, with that altercation from Jordan, who is in this cast. That'll be interesting to see if there's any bad blood spilling over from that, if they've ever talked again or, buried that hatchet, so to speak. There are rumors out there that Tamara and Turbo aren't actually dating. These are just things I see on Twitter, and not even from your typical good spoiler commentator accounts that you could trust. But I've got really nothing else to say about Tamara. I don't know much. I couldn't find out much. So here we are. Turbo is an incredible athlete, but also he's short enough, I should say. He's not small. He's got a lot of muscle on him, but he's short enough, similar to what we said about one of the rookies earlier. If you're short enough, you could still lose a size-based elimination, which there's only a couple of them, the Hall Brawl and maybe 1 or 2 others, where size over strength or anything else is the number 1 asset. But if he ends up in one of those, he could go out. He also has no connections really to work with, unless he's maybe going to glom on to Nany, but she's got plenty of other connections. We'll talk about those later. So without having his buddies, his good buddies, Cara and Paulie, who he happens to seemingly still be and continue to be very good buddies with, maybe they've been coaching him up, or maybe he'll call Cara Maria a la West calling Bananas on All Stars 3, and maybe Cara Maria will be on our challenge screen that way. Can we dream? Can we hope? I know they already filmed this, but Turbo, could you go back in time and make that happen? I don't have much else on this team. I don't think they're going to have the connections in the house. I think Turbo's an amazing athlete. Again, he won the hardest final in the history of the show. That means a lot. That means so much. I don't think this is his season. I don't think this partnership's going very far at all. Can they win? No, I do not believe they have any path, even small, to winning. In 13th, we move to Kaycee and Kenny. Kaycee, the reigning female champion, back after winning, attempting to build on one of the best resumes of all time in the world of the challenge. She has done 3 seasons. She has made 3 finals. She's won 1 of them. She's gotten 2nd to Jenny West in the other one. That's basically a win. She's gotten the 3rd one. She got injured, tore her ACL, and then her partner DQ'd them. She would have DQ'd anyways. Either way you put it, 3 seasons, 1 win. 3 finals, incredible. 14 daily wins in 3 seasons. That's insane. 2-0 in eliminations, beat Kayla and Teresa in such a strong social game that the only reason she's even been in those 2 eliminations is because both those seasons required you to go in and win a skull in order to compete in TJ's final. That's the only reason she ever even ended up there. Now, Fessy and Kaycee are both here. We'll talk about Fessy later, but they're both here without Josh, which is everything I've been asking for. Almost. I wanted 1 at a time only, but this is close enough. Now, Kaycee's got tons of connections. She's got Nany. She's got Devin and Tori, I assume. She's got Fessy. She's maybe even got Amber if she wanted to try and reach out and actually get Amber in. I think there's still a shot in the dark that could happen if she wanted to try to make it happen. Maybe not, but I'm dreaming here. And then Nany's got, that Kayla and Turbo possible alliances, which we'll talk about later. There's a lot going on socially and politically here for her to grab onto, but her partner is Kenny, her brother. He is going to be labeled the layup, regardless of if he actually is, and he very well may not be. But it's going to be labeled the layup in the house on the men's side. There's just no other way about it. At the end of the day, the challenge, like it or not, it judges people based on how they look in their spandex uniform. And when all these guys line up, they're going to look at Kenny and be like, if we had to go against someone, that's the guy we want to go against. Fair or unfair, everyone judges, pure physical strength as the number 1 factor when it's one of 30 factors that matter pretty evenly across the board. It is what it is. He's going to be labeled that. We'll see if he can prove people wrong. But, I think I'm even prone to saying maybe Kaycee, it would have, there's supposedly some guy from Big Brother the season she was on was supposed to be on. It wasn't him. Now it's Kenny. Either way, I think they're going to have the best team chemistry because they're actual siblings that really seem to love each other and be really, really good friends. I think they're going to have great connections in the house. And if they get the right elimination, I think they can absolutely kick some ass. But at the end of the day, I don't know that that's going to be that. Can they win the season? No, they cannot. And final thing, because doing my deep dive of everyone's Instagram that I did, Kenny, he did post a picture of his cat, and I got very excited. I was like, you posted a cat picture? I'm a cat guy. Everyone that listened to Challenge USA knows this, and I was excited. I was like, Kenny's my guy. Hell yeah, here we go. But then that caption of the picture of his cat said that he's a dog lover trapped in a cat owner's life. And if that is meant to be shade towards his cat, then me and Kenny can't be friends, and I am officially putting them this low on the list. They come in 13th. They will not be able to win the season. They can't win the season. I do not believe they have a path to doing so. Moving on to number 12. Nelson in Nurys, I believe is how you pronounce her name. The first of multiple names I am likely to get very wrong on this podcast. I apologize to all of them. But Nelson in Nurys, Nelson's 8th season. He has made 2 finals, coming off the second of those in SLNA, and he's made 75% of the possible episodes in all the seasons he's ever been on, which is a huge number. He is always going far. He's always hanging around. Even if he doesn't quite make the final, he's rarely ever exiting early. And, mid-season, late season, last elimination before the final, a couple finals. Nelson always is hanging out for a while, but while it's his 8th season, while he's a super vet at this point, he's never done a season without his boy Corey, his BFF Corey. So how does he handle being in a house without his true ride or die? And if this was a male, female style season, then Corey would have been like, nah, I know I said I was gonna retire for a little bit here, but no, I got to go back with my boy Nelson. So Nelson without Corey, how does he handle that? Nurys, she and Nelson dated once. Apparently, supposedly, not supposedly, that was mean. Other couples deserve supposedlys on this one. These two seem to legitimately have dated, had a bad breakup, and then, found a way to be very good friends after it, which one, I have to say, well done, Nelson. Seems like a catch, Nurys, and so great job, Nelson, and great job, Nurys, because Nelson's amazing, and I love him so much. They maybe disliked each other a lot, now they're good friends, or, did she want on the show? The show wanted Nelson there. They were friendly enough. They made it work. Either way, I'm happy they're both here. She's a model. She's from Are You the One? An X on the Beach alumni. A long line of talent from Are You the One? Could she be the next big star to come from there? I wonder, but then I also remember that was a few years back. Why hasn't she been on the challenge yet if they thought she had that star potential? But maybe she proves those producers wrong and she proves to them why she should have been casted long ago. We shall see. Nelson is always looking for love, so maybe he pulls a Josh and tries to make out with his partner this season, tries to rekindle something. Maybe that means that these two have the best opportunity of any partnership to actually really blow up. I'm just kidding. There's a clear favorite for which partners actually aren't going to like each other. We'll talk about them pretty soon. But for now, can Nelson and Nurys win? No, I do not believe they have a path to winning. We go to number 11, Jay and Michele. These two are both so great. I'm so glad that they're back on this show. I am really, really, really happy to have both of them back in the challenge world. Neither of these two are the, stars, the face of the franchise, like the top level stars of this show. They're not that type of cast member, but they are both incredible cast members and great glue cast members that are needed and that benefit this show greatly, and that seems like get kicked to the side and not invited back all the time when they're not remembering from times of the past, like the recent season I covered on the rewatch series, Fresh Meat 2. One of the things that made that season so great is because they casted so many great glue cast members like a Ryan or a Jen that had great roles, great seasons, and could be a part of that major storyline that featured the couple big star names, but they didn't have to have 20 star names there. They only had to have a couple, and then they had a bunch of really good value add cast members. That's the type of people I believe Jay and Michele are. I'm so happy to have both of them back on the show. I'm so happy they are together. Now, we've got to ask, does anyone in the house like Michele from last season? Does she hate Fessy, or, they had their little dalliance in the hotel room when, filming the recap shows or the after shows or whatever happened between them. There was a messy, something went back and forth. It's Fessy. He's always messy. He was in that situation. So does she not like him, or is Fessy maybe on the outs with his usual squad where maybe the two of them would work together. I don't really know. Does Jay have anyone in the house? He has Nelson. Him and Nelson are very good buddies. They're together all the time in real life. Those two are boys. But then it seems like maybe I don't really know where the other connections for Jay would be. They're both from Survivor, which coming off the Challenge USA, where some cast members in this very show, some OG cast members, didn't feel great about no OG MTV folks being invited to Challenge USA. Does that leave a salty taste in the mouth where it's like, hey, Big Brother and Survivor folks, you're out of here. I don't care that you're from our side of the fence over here in MTV Challenge world. You're out of here. We're mad at CBS folks right now. Who knows? That could happen. That Survivor tie being the single Survivor team could doom Michele and Jay. Can they win? I'm tempted to say that there's the smallest path that I could see them. I can see them getting into a final, but I don't know that I can actually see them fully winning the final. So I'm going to go one more time, maybe a couple more times. Can this team win? No. And with that, we enter our top 10. At number 10, we've got Aneesa and Jordan. Now, let's get straight to it. Aneesa has a history of not liking Jordan at all. These two don't get along, historically speaking. And Aneesa is also best friends with Tori, who is Jordan's ex-fiance, and may have added more fuel to the fire of why Aneesa didn't like Jordan in the first place and didn't even more so later. Now, Jordan originally said he would never do a season again with Tori on it because a very legitimate reason, because he didn't know how the breakup storyline would be edited. He didn't want to leave their story in the aftermath of their breakup up to the editing team to tell. That made total sense at the time. It was a bummer when he said that, but it made total sense now, given the time that has passed and the fact that he and Tori do seem to be in a good place, at least via, social media interaction, seem to be very kind between them and they exist between them. So that's, all signs point to, they've found a place, are able to be friends and whatnot. Who knows what we'll see on this season, but I'm glad that he was willing to jump back in to the flagship world, even with her still in the cast. And I hope for the best between them, especially because his partner again is Aneesa and they didn't like each other before. So the only thing that could possibly hopefully bring them together is the fact that she is besties with Tori. I'm guessing we're going to get some explanation, whether it'll be an honest one or just kind of a made up, produced one. Somehow, some way, we're going to find out how these two ended up being together. I'm guessing we're going to find that out early in the first episode, but it's kind of fun. Actually, I've seen a lot of people, being like, this is a joke, making fun of it, which is fun. We gotta get our jokes in where we can, but I actually think it's hilarious and fun and interesting for the show that they've put one couple together that actually doesn't like each other, that actually isn't ride or dies, that very well could have been rivals on a rival season if you really wanted to go all the way there. I think that's an interesting thing to add in, especially when one part of that, when the two people, one of them is an OG legend in her own right, and the other one is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and that is Jordan Wisely. They have 21 flagship seasons between them. Jordan is a 3-time champ. He most recently lost to Mark on All Stars 3, while Aneesa went out of Spies, Lies, and Allies with an injury DQ. Who Jordan wants to work with will be fascinating. And if his redemption tour continues, is he super nice and sweet, or does he get frustrated with his partner? We shall see. Will Aneesa be torn between, the Vacation Alliance that she's been a part of the last couple of seasons, or some of the other super vets that are in this show that we're going to talk about here soon enough? Can she be the glue that brings all of that together into a big super vets only alliance a la Spies, Lies, and Allies? Aneesa seems like the prime person to be able to bring, the Darrells and Veronicas and Laurels and Bananas into that Vacation Alliance with the Tori Devins, Nanys, Kaycees, Fessy's, and what have you. Let's see if she could possibly do that. They will be an incredibly difficult team to beat in an elimination. Incredibly difficult to beat in an elimination. Aneesa has been in like the second most eliminations ever. She's like 14 and 15 or something crazy in eliminations like that. Jordan is like 9 and 2 or something insane. I'm probably getting both those numbers wrong. I didn't put all the stats up in front of me for this one, so sorry, that's off the top of the dome. But either way you slice it, I think 14 and 15 is bananas. Aneesa was like 11 and 12 or 12 and 11, something like that. Either way, they've done a hell of a lot of eliminations. They're both very good in eliminations and in daily challenges for that matter. But when it comes to a final, while Jordan is the best endurance athlete going in the world of the challenge right now, today, as we speak, can he and Aneesa as partners win this season? No. They cannot. There's no path. Moving on to number 9, a rookie pair. We've got Olivia and Horacio. Horacio, I apologize, my man, for saying your name possibly wrong. One of those had to be wrong. I just said it 2 different ways. But either way, you can feel good about the fact that I'm putting you inside the top 10. You'll notice the other rookie teams, they were way back there at the very bottom of this list, and you guys are right square in the middle. That is because Olivia, IG deep dive on her. First off, friends with Justine from Challenge USA. I like Justine from Challenge USA. She proved herself very capable of kicking some ass in a challenge house. Maybe Olivia can do the same. I have also learned that she has been in a kayak at least one time, at least to take a picture. Maybe she paddled, maybe she did not. But either way, paddle sports become a big factor in the challenge, particularly in finals. So that's good to see. She's at least been inside of a kayak one time before. Not getting a lot else that, screams challenge champion from her, but those are a couple decent things that I learned. And then Horacio, IG deep dive, he plays soccer, collegiately played soccer. He's a surfer. He runs Spartan races for fun. Spartan races are like Tough Mudders, but even harder or easier. I forget which one's harder, but he runs the really long ones of the Spartan races. So he does some really hard endurance obstacle course type stuff for fun. Also, he's from a show called Exaltlon. I apologize on the pronunciation of that show, but it looks like a show I should watch because it's very challenge-esque. There's been like 4 or 5 seasons of it, it seems. It's on, it airs down in Mexico. Some of the seasons seem to take place in the U.S., however, and there possibly is an English-speaking version of it. Either way, I've got to watch because it looks awesome by the pictures and the brief clips I watched. It looks like he does a lot of things on that show that would make him tailor-made for a challenge cast, and it leads me to believe that he's going to be very, very good at this game. Is Horacio this season's Logan, is the question I'm asking. He's hot. He's a surfer. He's Spanish-speaking. Could he befriend someone in the house who has obvious ties to so many other people but still picks Horacio over the others to defend because of their 2-week friendship, a la Josh and Logan last season? I don't know, but I'm so impressed by his resume and the little bit I got from his Instagram and hers as well that these are the first 2 couple that I say the odds are slim, but there is some small, less than 1% chance, but it exists. It's not 0.0. Can they win this show? Yes. Will they win? Certainly not. But could they? Yes. I really believe there is one in a 287 chance that they win this particular season, which means, yes, they could in theory. Now to number 8, we've got Kailah and Sam. Kayla is back after her All-Stars 3 second place finish, which put her back in kind of the realm of ability that it's often thought that she is in. She's kind of fluctuated in her challenge career. She seems amazing, like she's built for this. She's made for this show, and she very much is. She just hasn't always performed the best. Her best showing clearly was Vendettas, where she got second place, or tied for second. The 4 of them at the very end did the puzzle. Cara won. No one else finished. So second place female, second place overall, whatever you want to say. Best season. Dirty 30, she did pretty good, but it was a lot of her friends doing the work. All-Stars 3, obviously she did very great. She is here partnered with her husband, Sam, of about a year. They've been, dated obviously well before that, got married sometime in the last year ago. He's from X on the Beach, at least at one point. He's a DJ, music producer, and he seems to have gotten in very good shape specifically for the challenge. Maybe not specifically, but the timing seems relevant. As I deep dove on his Instagram, about 18 weeks ago, he posted a picture of a 15-week fitness challenge and the results of that 15-week fitness challenge. And he had quite the transformation. And he went to the basically looking like he possibly looked back on the X on the Beach. Whether he was in the same shape then or now, I would say probably better now. But either way, about 18 weeks ago, he finished up a 15-week fitness journey. Was that to get ready for a show like The Challenge? Who knows? Maybe it was just good coincidence, good timing. But either way, it certainly is going to help him out. He looks ready to go. Does a challenge house seem like the ideal place for newlyweds? No, but they've been together long enough that I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I think they flip houses, or they like do gut rehabs houses, whatever. I don't think a challenge house is going to be a problem for this married duo. Who do they align with, though? That's my big question. Kayla and Nany used to be super duper tight. That's been a few years. Are those still 2 still super duper tight? And does that mean that Kaylah by de facto is in the vacation alliance with Nany? Kaylah and Veronica were in an alliance on All Stars 3, but was that actually because they became good friends, or was that because she was sleeping in the same room as Tina and Veronica and they just all became a big alliance because Kaylah was winning a bunch of stuff? I don't know, but that could be a possible place. Sam, is there anyone that, he's going to make specific friends with? I don't know. Does he have prior relationships with any of these people? I'm not 100% positive, but I am positive on is there a chance? Can they win this season? Yes. They are athletic enough. They could possibly have the ties enough. They could do plenty well enough. I think there is a path to a win for them. It's pretty small, but it exists. And it's not less than 1 like the last one. It's at least a full 1 to 4% chance that they could win this season. So that is Sam and Kaylah. Now we're to number 7, Colleen and Kim. Our final rookie pair goes all the way up to 7th in the power rankings. I love these two, and I know very little to nothing about them. But what I have gleamed from their Instagrams is that these two could be a force to be reckoned with. Colleen first, fitness influencer in the real deal. Sometimes, you really got to dive deep to learn, is someone a fitness influencer, and like how real is their level of fitness? How fit, in fact, are they? The answer for Colleen, very. That's the answer. Very, very fit. Awesome athlete. Shades of Gabby from Double Agents, who turned out, whether she was on that show a little bit and we didn't fully ever realize it, but especially afterwards, Gabby Allen is super duper fit, super duper athlete, fitness influencer herself. Colleen gives me shades of Gabby, but like Gabby, like right now today, not even when she was on the show, when she still did perfectly good at the show. She was previously Colleen, that is, on The Mole in Germany, I believe, somewhere in Europe, a different version of The Mole. There used to be an American version of The Mole way back when. I loved that show. This one, I don't know the exact conceit of the game, other than one person is lying the whole time as the mole trying to sabotage stuff, but it seems like they did actual games that look very challenge-like, and the thing that really matters in this is she was the freaking mole the whole time. She was the titular character of that show, which means she lied to people the entire season, and she got to do a bunch of challenge-like challenges. That makes her great and a perfect fit for a challenge house. She's going to kick ass, as is her partner, Kim. Real life Thor, Fabio 2.0. Either way, a tall, built gentleman with the best hair on this season, hands down. He was also the titular character on his reality show, which was called Prince Charming. I believe that was Prince Charming Germany 3, where he was the literal prince that everyone was going for. He's not an actual prince, at least to my knowledge of any land or nation out there, but he was the Prince Charming, the one everyone was vying for. Think The Bachelor, except all male version. At the time of filming of this season, he was still with the winner of that show, Nurys. They got together. I believe were still together, at least at the time of filming, if not now. So hats off to them. They're doing way better on Prince Charming than our Bachelor and Bachelorette couples here in America do. And either way, Kim he's super duper fit, and not just model fit. It does look like super legit fit. Although I am a little nervous, he had a post way back in February where he said he tried yoga for the first time and learned he wasn't mobile. But then there's another post a few later where it looks like he's super duper flexible. So I'm torn, but I think he's a really good athlete. And either way, he's super tall. He's got some good muscle. He's got the size to him. And his partner looks like she kicks ass as well. This is by far the best rookie team coming in, even though they have by far the least connections and are the dreaded double Euro or double, just double international team. There isn't nearly as many of those this season as there has been the last few. That probably isn't great from an alliance standpoint. But either way, can they win? Yes, I truly believe this team could win. I think if they're in a final, they're a force to be reckoned with. I think they could get to a final. And also, can they win my heart? Yes, to both of them. And I think a lot of fans watching at home. Then number 6. We've got the OGs. We've got Veronica and Darrell, the original face of the franchise in Veronica and the original GOAT of the challenge in Darrell, the old once upon a time 4x4 champion, both coming off All-Stars 3, where Darrell lost to Jordan in a crazy, wild, amazing elimination that only Jordan was going to beat him in. And then Veronica, who broke her toe, falling down the stairs, running for the pizza. It happens to the best of us. Now, between them, they have 20 flagship seasons plus those All-Stars won, and 7 championships, 4 for Darrell, 3 for Veronica. And Veronica's the perfect partner for Darrell, politically speaking. He can sit back, just do what he wants to do, which is just sit back, keep his hands clean, and not have to even think all that much about the alliances. If she needs to come with them to him for a little advice here or there, that's fine. She isn't 100% certain on a decision. He can throw his opinion in there, but otherwise he'll sit back, let her handle the social, political part of the game, and that is where she is an expert. That is where she cuts her teeth, where she makes her bread, where she is so good at, as we even saw recently on All-Stars 3, where she was running that shit until she unfortunately broke her toe, which was a huge, huge bummer. But the question is, who do they work with? Because, you know, there's Aneesa and Bananas who are in Laurel, I guess, or who are the other, you know, quote unquote old school players. Or Aneesa certainly is, you know, from their started around the same time. Bananas a couple seasons after them. Laurel, you know, significantly after them. But those are the closest to old school players they've got. Maybe there's the Kayla Veronica thing we said earlier from All-Stars 3. Maybe Darrell, you know, I could see, I mentioned it once before. I'll mention it here again. I'll mention it when it comes up. The other name comes up. I could see him and Nelson and Chauncey. For some reason, I just see the three of them working out and deciding that they like each other and kind of being boys for the season and something going on there. But ultimately, as much as I love both of these two, as much as I'm excited to see the two of them together and both on a flagship season again, can they win this season? The answer is no, which, yeah, I put them above teams that I've said yes for, but I like their chances of making a final significantly more than the teams we've previously spoken about. I just don't think they have it at this stage versus this crop of cast members to actually win that final, but I love their chances of getting all the way to it, which is why they rise above some of the other teams that I think could legitimately win the whole thing, even if it's a super small chance. And they come in sixth, but no, I do not believe they can win the entire Challenge 38. Then we've got our top five. Let's talk Laurel and Jakk. Laurel is back. Did you know Laurel's only done 6 seasons of the show? It feels like so many more. She was in 4 straight finals to start her career, winning the 4th one, Free Agents, and then had some disappointing exits in An Invasion and War of the World 2, which I still say she won the elimination. It was dumb how she got DQ'd, but that's neither here nor there. She's 21 out of 45 in daily challenges. She's won almost half of the daily challenges she's been in. That's individual seasons, partner seasons, one team season. But that's insane. That's absolutely insane number for someone who's been on the season she has been on. She is 9-2 in eliminations. Also insane. One of, if not the best elimination competitor we've ever seen. I did recently say if I had to pick one person to win an elimination, my life was on the line. I'm picking Laurel over anyone else. Jakk, her partner, he's from X on the Peak, which is the X on the beach they did on the mountaintop. That's where he met Laurel originally. They are besties, and they seem like true, legitimate ride-or-die BFFs, which we love to see. Now, question with Jakk, similar to a lot of people on this show. Is he just in shape to be good looking for modeling, or is he for real in good shape? Because with models, as we've said before, it can be tricky sometimes. So he certainly is no slouch, that's for sure. But how good of an athlete? What's his fitness level? What's his physical abilities actually going to be? I love that the two of them are actually legit best friends. I think they can that can lead to some really good things in a house where not all of the ride or dies as are, ride or die as the rest. No idea who they align with. Jordan and Laurel, had a romance last time Laurel won on the season. So maybe she's like, let's go back to that. Well, not romantically, but just, alliance-wise. So maybe him. Does she go for the, Bananas, Darrell, Veronica, Aneesa and play the OGs card and like, let's all gang together? Or do, Kaycee, Tori, Nany, Kayla say, we've got to get Laurel the F out of here before I have to go against her. And Laurel and Jakk are going into a lot of eliminations because everyone's scared of her and maybe him too. I don't know, but either way you cut it, could they win this season? Yes, certainly. If Laurel is involved, no matter almost who the partner is, she's got a shot to win. Number 4, Amber and Chauncey. Amber, stellar 2-season performance of challenge career so far. It's laughable that she was an alternate on Spies, Lies, and Allies. She's got 1 win on Double Agents. Another good season with no, she had no allies in the house and still produced a good season on Spies, Lies, and Allies. She's 3-1 in eliminations. Even if that one loss does kind of stand out, her and Jeremiah lost to Corey and Bettina, and it was it wasn't a good look for anyone, really, honestly. It took a hell of a long time in that elimination, but could she possibly make up with Kaycee and Fessy, or is she just going to be like, I'm fully against you this time around? Either way, I don't think it matters much because this time around, she finally has someone in her corner. That's her ride or die, Chauncey, who is her boyfriend, who spoke their relationship into existence by tweeting out how he was going to marry Amber B one day. A few months later, or however long later, they're actually dating. They're well on their way. Pretty cool stuff, and also very smart of him because Amber B, total catch. Well done, Chauncey. Chauncey's huge. He's a massive guy, super jacked up. Fitness is his life, which makes him a threat for sure and makes him this season's new big guy. Every season comes with the new big guy, but that also comes with the question for the new big guy. Can you run though? Can you run? Because you're not guaranteed to get in a hall brawl. It almost never works out that way, which it would be cool if it did if you went up against an equally sized person who also was excited about doing just that activity versus you. But can you run though? We will find out. I think I'm leaning towards, yeah, he probably can, especially with Amber B. He's clearly a challenge fan as well. He knows that that's important. So whether he could, 5 months ago isn't the question. Whether he could when he, got on the plane to go to Argentina for day one of the challenge, I think that answer is yes. He's way too good of an athlete and knows too much about this and is dating a former champion who got that way because she kicks ass at endurance to not have gotten that endurance up if he even needed to raise it any bit coming in. They are the biggest wild card to me because also about Chauncey. Can you do math? That is the biggest question. Can Chauncey do math? More than can he run, can he do math? Because Amber cannot. That's no slight. Lots of people on these shows, lots of people at home have a lot of trouble with math. It's not something most general people do every single day, but she has struggled big time with it in the past. It's her only weakness, like her only one. She's really strong across the board and everything else. So you got to do the math, buddy. I hope Chauncey can do them. They are the biggest wild card for me. They can win dailies. They could be unbeatable in eliminations, in some eliminations, and easily beatable in others, depending, again, on that math or puzzle card. They have no guaranteed connections going in. Again, for maybe the last time, I'm going to theorize that, Nelson, Darrell, Chauncey, for some reason, I just think, not for some reason, I think Nelson and Chauncey possibly are friendly coming into it, or at least know each other. Nelson and Amber, I could see being the right ones that are like, we're on the outside of this vacation thing, having some alliance type connection in the past. And I could see Darrell just being like, these are kind of the young bucks that I want to align with, and we like working out together every day. I could see them linking up. I could see an Amber, Nelson, Jay, Michele, plus some rookies, kind of an interesting little alliance of, again, those kind of outsiders of the vacation alliance, but still vets and, with some real reps in the game. I could see that. Either way, can these two win? Yes. If they make a final, this team can absolutely win, and I think they got a great shot at making that final because, again, I think they could be extremely tough to beat in most eliminations, and I think they could win a lot of daily challenges. I love where this team is standing coming into the season. Now we're on top three, the big ones. Fessy and Moriah come in at number 3. Fessy is back after that bullshit DQ on Spies, Lies, and Allies. He's made 2 finals in 3 seasons. The other one was that DQ. Yes, he gave up eating in Double Agents, which wasn't smart because he could have possibly got to the next part and switched partners, but his current partner was hurt. And when you think you've lost, you shut it down. And there I go, making excuses for my guy again. But he is still, hands down, the best male athlete in the house. I shouldn't say hands down. Jordan's the best athlete in the house. Yeah, Jordan's the best athlete in the house. Fessy's the second best athlete in the house, maybe even slightly the best. Jordan's the best endurance athlete, and I weigh that more when I say best athlete in a challenge context. But outside of challenge context, just straight up best athlete, still probably Fessy. And shout out Alan Aguirre, as always, over on Medium. Great write-ups, Caffeine Confessionals podcast, super duper good. He pointed out, which was very, very good, and I really appreciated, that Fessy is also actually super duper smart and good at like puzzles and logic type stuff. He was the academic All-American when he was back playing collegiate football. He just makes the dumb social decisions, so everyone thinks, messy Fessy. He's not the smartest, the brightest crayon in the box, but he actually is really, really smart. And he's done really, really well at puzzles and other things. And he's just kicked ass at this game. He just hasn't got the win. And then he got the bullshit DQ last season. He's a force to be reckoned with, and he's out to prove a lot. He's partnered with Moriah. Fitness model, looks to be a true physical threat, looks to be on the side of that scale of like actual fitness, really legit in shape. That's where I'm leaning on hers. Are she and Fessy together? Are they just good friends? Or is she just a person that they got to get Fessy a partner? I'm not 100% sure What I am kind of 100% sure on is that after the season, she spent some time with Nany Bananas after filming. There was a little Instagram sleuthing, although they didn't seem to try to hide it that much, that maybe something there happened. So maybe we could see the beginnings of that happen on this season, and that could help some alliance things. It would also make sense. I think Johnny and Fessy have become friends from the couple podcasts they've done together. It seems like maybe they are more friendly than not. And if Fessy can get in with Bananas, Nany, and Kaycee and Kenny, and Tori and Devin, Aneesa Jordan, that could be the 10-person super alliance. That's kind of what's left, more or less, of the vacation alliance. Tori and Devin, Kaycee, Aneesa, Nany. You throw in Bananas, Jordan, and Kenny, and now Fessy and Moriah into that. That could be the 10-person people, or that exact same group could be, let's get Fessy and Chauncey in a hall brawl together, and that could be their thing. Let's get both of those big guys out, and then they make that happen, and we get an absolute show. That would be amazing. Let's get Fessy versus Chauncey in a hall brawl. That would be incredible. Fessy and Amber, they got their beef, so I could see those two teams going up against each other. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to speak it into existence the way Chauncey spoke his relationship into existence. But Fessy Moriah, for sure, can win this season. And this guy, as the leader of the Fessy fan club for life, would certainly love to see my guy Fessy get that win. He's in third with Moriah on these power rankings. In second is Tori and Devin. Speaking of the Vacation Alliance, the kind of heads of that snake, if you will, former borderline rivals turned besties over the course of the last 2 seasons. They're both coming off a finals appearance where Devin was the day 1 leader and Tori kind of maybe had it, should have maybe won, if not for the final partner switch and the fresh, brand new clock timed leg at the very end there where she lost by seconds, maybe a forgotten number. But these two, they have solid connections. They've been the face of the last 2 seasons, whether you liked it or not. That's just the truth. They've got Kaycee, Nany, Aneesa, Fessy, maybe even Nelson a little bit, maybe. But they've got a lot of good connections. They are likely the ones coming in, at least thinking, that group of people led by these two, thinking that they are running this game early on. Devin also needs to be shouted out, has gotten in way better shape than we've seen him before. Now, I don't know if it happened before filming or after or both. I think both, but he's been posting some of his runs and their times and the mile splits and everything he's been doing recently, and they are impressive. Devin is in shape. Devin can run now. Whether he's going to win a hall brawl or a pole wrestle, no. But can he easily avoid those? Super duper easy, yes, for him. I think he might be able to avoid all the eliminations on his way to a final. And now he almost won a final last season, and he's gotten way, way better to a really good level with the running and the endurance. That spells good things. Obviously, how Tori handles Jordan in the house and Devin handles Bananas in the house will go a long ways to where they stand in the game. They can easily avoid every elimination or be the team that everyone decides to throw in every time. Once vets start going for vets, they could have enough vindictiveness out there. The same as they could be, part running the super alliance. They could also be the target of the smaller alliances if those vets do break apart. But either way, this team is a certified threat to get their first wins, to win this whole thing. They come in at number 2 on the power rankings, and that leaves the 7-time champ and his partner, his second time that they've ever been partnered together, Nany and Bananas, as the number 1 team on my power rankings going into this season. 31 seasons and 7 titles between them. Yes, all the titles are Bananas, but Nany's been to some finals, coming off 2 in a row, 3 overall, has done well in all of them. She's the all-around player. She's not super great at anything, but she's between average, good, or almost great at everything, which matters a lot, which is why she's had a lot of success in the Challenge House, even if she hasn't quite got that win before. These two, of course, have been partnered together on X's 2, where they crushed the Redemption House. They got voted back, or won their way back into the game, and then got voted into elimination, the final elimination by Sarah and Jordan, which, even though Jordan out of nowhere didn't want to do it because him and Bananas had shelved it all somehow, Sarah did it. That was the beginning of the Sarah Bananas rivalry that led to Rivals 3 and everything that happened there. Nany has the best connections in the house, hands down, not even close. She's got Kaycee, she's got Kayla, she's got Turbo if she wants Turbo. Plus, she's got the Aneesa, Tori, Devin, and maybe even Fessy from the Vacation Alliance the last couple seasons. That's half the house or more. And then it's just whether or not her partner, Bananas, is willing to be, who the hell does he work with? Is he okay just being a part of Nany's Super Alliance, or are those people in Nany's Alliance going to be cool working with Bananas? Is Devin the new Wes for Bananas, where he can say, we hated each other once, you beat me, I'll put that beside, we're going to work together now? That could very well be. CT has won back-to-back seasons, but Bananas is a returning champ here. He hasn't come back since winning on Total Madness. Can he reclaim his throne that so many have been so quick to bequeath to CT just because they like CT better than they like Bananas? I stand strong. He's the GOAT. He's back. He's got one of his best partners he's ever had, even though they didn't win together, and he's won with plenty of other partners. They could very well win here. They're the best suited to do so. They've got incredible connections. If they make a final, they can definitely win that final. They would likely be the favorite in a final right now. If all 17 teams had to run it, I would choose them as the favorite. So can they win? Yes, certainly they can, and they very well may.